Great Rod isn't, y'all. Great Rod isn't. Come on for a walk. I'm walking, y'all. Like, comment, share. Tell her uncle, tell her auntie, tell her cousin, tell her friend. Get your chair, get your weight, get your mats if you're doing floor exercises. Line up if you're walking wall to wall. Let's get this party started right, y'all. They cut me up until I'm just a nose. Listen, nothing like a memory of why you getting your ass moving. Yes. Because if I start walking, y'all, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Great Rod isn't, y'all. Great Rod isn't. Yes. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Happy, happy, happy. I went and got me some compression things. I think I told you all this yesterday. I was vibing with the ancestors. I need to skate. I don't want to gravity to make me bend that I kiss my knees. Skating will help me line my back, and I can't go to them people who hate me, and they don't even know why they hate me, because it was dinner talk for generations that they hate me. Which I call ignorance. I don't go around those ignorant people. I don't want to go around them ignorant people. No, no, no. Y'all let them touch you. I never understood how people who can hate you can heal you. If any healing took place, it took place from you. Within. Anyway. So then they said the compression. Thigh high. It's in my thighs. And now it makes sense. Okay. Like as you get older, people don't like to show this. But you see how you have that flabby thing there? As my muscles in my legs are getting more refined, it's like the fat, the skin, the fat is breaking away, so it's doing that. So when I make a move to skate, all this other stuff like reverberates. I just need it all to stay in one spot. And I think the compression things to do for me. I know I put this fan on. I may not know much. Ooh, I'm like, sister ain't getting nothing on the back end. So let's talk about men. I don't know anything about them. I read the Venus, Mars, all that stuff. What I know about them is I can literally say in passing in this human life I'm walking. My early memory is of my grandfather. And when I met him, he was a sharecropper in Virginia, but we know how that story plays out. Oh, but let me say it, because this penal colony, oh, my name is Vicki, coming to you live, from the penal colony, a.k.a. USA, a.k.a. America. So, other than passing, I didn't have my father's name because people say, oh, the cults are taking over, the cults are taking. No. This penal colony is just like a brick and mortar prison. Cults rule. They help control the people. According to the cult, my mother and father wasn't married, so his blood and my blood are not the same. I told you these people are ignorant. So there's no way he could put his name on my birth certificate. On this penal colony, when I was born, the cult said Only people who have matching blood is if a married couple has a child, then their blood is the same. But if they're not married, I don't got my father's blood. Clearly, you can look and see that we are similar. He has a genetic heart defect that he passed to his girls. All his girls. So, but according to cults, and cults are ruled by men, they said, if you're not married, your child ain't your child. So you can't put the name on the birth certificate. That's why I often wonder, I just stopped looking at news, TV, and stuff like that. Thank goodness for the internet. Love you, YouTube, FB. Just because I connect with my friends, but we don't get into that. And all the social medias, TikTok, all those. I'm so grateful for, because I don't have to get those ignorant people. There was a time I had no choice. But they said my father, so a man could only, the man's blood, we know DNA now. I'm going to use it now, but they didn't use it then. But basically what they were saying is, if a man and woman isn't married, the man's sperm makes the baby, but that's it. There's no blood connection or nothing. So there's no reason to put his name on the birth certificate. So I remember asking my mother once, why did I have my father's last name? And she said, because we weren't married. And I was like, so he's not my father? And she said, yes, he is your father. But he couldn't put his name on your birth certificate because we weren't married. I couldn't get it. I said, but so he's not my father. And she said, yes. Yes. By nature, he's your father. But by law, he's not. And that's the cult law. The Bible says, that book of fallacies and lies says, and it worked out good on this penal colony because, again, we weren't able to be connected to our blood kin. Penal colony. Penal colony. So, I couldn't understand that, so I remember after my mother passed, him coming to get me out of Harlem, and I remember him looking at me saying, he knocked at the door. I said, who is it? He said, your father. I was like, father? No, father by nature, not father by law. Cult law. Cult said if you're not married, then when you have a child, the child don't have your DNA and don't have your blood. So there's no reason to put it on the birth certificate. And I just don't understand. Every time I see, like I said, I stop looking at newspapers, but whenever I see, oh, the most smartest, brilliant, blah, 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 and they put this penal colony, I'm always like, I have to do like my Aunt Lucy. They ignorant. There's no way. They are ignorant. Anyway, so even when we weren't together and I lived with it, it was just very hard for me to understand how is he my father. He's not on any document. He is only father by nature. You see? So, according to cult, C-U-L-T-S, I may not be saying it yet, so I'll spell it for you. Cults, you call them religion and churches, all that bullshit. Cults said that I'm a bastard. Well, I couldn't understand that either. But this is how it goes. My father's a man. He wasn't married to my mother. So under this cult doctrine on this penal colony, he fathered me, but he couldn't go on record as saying that he fathered me. So I would have no connection to anything. And only when he was married, the children he had who were married would have his blood and have his DNA. And you call the people, what, the Pulitzer Prize or the Pritzker Prize? A prize, surprise, I don't even, for the who to what? Lies. So, I didn't understand, and he was, for a lot of years, my father was just a man. I could never connect him to me. It wasn't until I got older. So, living with my father, I can explain it like this. He would come in from work, kick the dog, punch his wife, smack around the kids, and sit down somewhere. When his car used to pull in the driveway, I mean, we could be having just the best of time, as much possible as there could be. And we would hear the car door slam, and it was like you would freeze. You said, "Oh my God, Daddy's so." Panic. Pure panic. It's a horrible feeling. So that's my experience with men in my teenage years, adolescent teenage years. So again, I don't know. I know when he took that belt the last time and he went to hit me, sneaking up on me in the shower, and I wrapped that belt around my fist, and I knew I had the strength of my mother because I was pulling. I said, "You ain't gonna hit me." See, my mother already told me, "Don't let no man hit me." Now, he is my father, but not according to this cult. This cult on this penal colony said he wasn't married to my mother, so he's not my father. And that's why his name is not on my birth certificate. Now, if I had felt that he was my father, maybe I wouldn't have addressed him like the stranger I thought he was. My mother kept saying, "No, nature knows that he's your father. Nature knows." I was like, "What?" When I look at that paper, I don't see it there. The cults in this penal colony said no. So I remember wrapping that belt around my heart, and then, "You ain't gonna hit me." And then, last time I hit my stepmother, I was like, you ain't gonna hit her. I was connected to my ancestors by then. I know where that strength came from. My mother was already passed. I knew where my strength came from. And the next thing I knew, I was on a Greyhound box with a shoe box full of fried chicken and bread. And a jug of Kool-Aid on my way to South Carolina with my grandmother. Now, when I got down there, my grandfather, my grandmother's second husband, a nice, calm gentleman, very tall, light-skinned, and easygoing, easy-mannered. He just ruled. I learned there my role to a man. I was there to sexually please him, but to take care of him. And when I ask, can he take care of himself? After a while, you become very cautious on the questions you ask, and sometimes you say to yourself, damn, that one slipped out. And they said, the Bible said that it was my place to take care of him. That's my woman's role. He goes out, he works all day. That's what the Bible says. He toils, and I have babies. And in between, he toils, I have babies, but I gotta take care of him. I didn't know that. My mother, she never said anything. I know she said babysitting. She did say when you have a child, oh, you got to take care of the child, but she never said anything about taking care of men. But when I went to that Southern Baptist cult, they said your role is to take care of men. Yeah! Because when you walk with me, you can eat the food you want to eat. I'm walking, y'all. Mr. Ron Jackson on guitar, the master guitarist. Yeah. I'm walking now. Finger snapping, y'all. Yeah, this is what this is all about. All about, y'all. Because if I start walking now, they'll cut me up until I'm just a nose. Yeah. Oh, I love that good time ending. It's like Ron Jackson reached into my heart. And though I described it to him, he just reached in and he knew exactly what I wanted. That's music. I love music. He loves music. We've been on that music level. So, I didn't know that I was supposed to worship men. I had no idea. My mother never said anything about it. She didn't go around saying, well, let me tell you what happened. In my Southern Baptist cult, Charleston, South Carolina, men, because the Bible says, they rule. They have the brains. They have the know-how. Women have the babies and satisfy men. Now, I learned in that Baptist cult, men are to be handled gently. But then you say, well, ain't they boys? There's another one that's slipping. No, they're men! You didn't do what you're supposed to do. I was saying to myself, no, my mother didn't bring me here for that. She didn't say that. She said go to school, be a success, meet your dreams. At the time my goal was to be a writer. That's all she said. Take care of yourself, clean up behind yourself. And I went down to South Carolina and everything was, how you gonna keep a man if you can't clean up your room? How you gonna get a man if you can't wash the dishes? How you gonna get a man if you don't know how to cook? How you gonna keep a man if you don't know how to sew? How you gonna get and keep a man if you don't clean your mop these floors every day? How are you gonna? And I was like, what? What? My mother never mentioned this stuff. But I learned that's why they're incest in cults. Because men can do whatever they want. So I also learned that any gesture that I make, I am sending out sexual messages to men. That's what's wrong with my hip right now. I remember she was my friend for a long time, but she went to Florida and became she became a Trumpist. And so, there you go. Anyway, we always said, Vicki, why don't you swing your hips when you walk? Why don't... And I was like, oh no, Donna. That's switching. And she says, no. It's helping you balance. You put your weight on one hip and the other. And I said, that's switching, Donna. Let me tell you, I didn't know it was switching. I was trained to that's what it was called, putting one weight on one hip and then the other, and it helps you move. When I went down south, the first time I heard you switching your tail in my face, I didn't know. I was like, switching my tail in your face? You trying to get a man? I didn't know. Well, what do you mean? I'm switching in the face and trying to get the man. You switching? I said, no, I'm walking. She said, no, you're tempting men. And she slapped the Playtex girl on me that I couldn't move. My hips wouldn't move if it was to save my life. Then I got Playtex bras that put on me that made sure nothing moved. Because I'm enticing men. So if a man does anything to me, I rightly deserve it. I didn't understand that. My mother didn't say I walk for men. She said, balance yourself. And we used to put like telephone books on our heads, and we used to walk around, we used to balance. And it was just to help you have a better posture. I didn't know until I got to that Southern Baptist cult that it was all sexualized. All sexualized. So it was already put on notice through the family, and that's how ancestors get loose. I mean, yeah, they get loose. That I was walking around throwing my tail into people's faces. So, Don R., why is my cunt touching my butt? He's not touching your butt if you wouldn't be switching it. How come he can touch my breasts? Shut up, he didn't touch your breasts. And if he did, you had his breasts all in his face. Oh. So every move that I made, I learned, was a sexual message to men. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Do you know how happy I was when I went to New York and I found my transgender girlfriend? That was the first time I could talk to, no, not a man. Martin was transitioning, but I could move around her. I know, mixed message right there. But I didn't know how to I was happy I was a receptionist. Because when I smiled at men who came in, hey, thank you, welcome for coming in. There was no sexual overtone. If I said to my cousin that I hadn't seen in a long time, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. I opened the door for him to come over, squeeze my ass, titties, or whatever you want to do. Why? Because I made a sexual overtone to him. So you learn not to talk to them. You can be happy to see them. You could want to talk to them. Y'all the same age. You may want to talk about music and songs. But you can't. Because those are all clues to men that I want a sexual encounter. So that's what I know about men. I know any gesture whatsoever from a woman is a signal to them that I'm open for any sexual touching, incesting, pedophiling, anything. So I was happy I didn't have a son. I'm so happy. Because I have to say no, son. No. So that's what I know about men. I know back when I was young, men could beat and kill women and wasn't nothing done. I know, and even probably up to this day, that an African American, I was so surprised. Y'all remember Shelley during the Murdoch trial? How she sit there and shook? Well, she had to go up against that white man. Nobody understood. She wasn't going up against Murdoch. She was going up against Jesus. Southern Baptist cult. Shaking like a leaf. So we couldn't testify against them. Down there, African American women were liars, thieves, whores, all that kind of stuff. Well, that was okay. So when you went to testify against a man or a white man, you were instantly discredited before you even got to the courthouse. So they would say things like, no, don't put her on the stand. They'll never believe her. They'll never believe you. And that's thanks to the Southern Baptist Code. So basically, I don't know anything else about men. You gotta take care of them. Every gesture or every way a woman moves, she gives out sexual things. And that's from the cults. You know? She's giving out sexual overtones. It doesn't matter. Now I know it's different. They're in short skirts and everything and pulling. But now there's a law in place where if he touches you, you can bring charges against him. So you can do the mini skirts and the low cleavage and stuff now. But you couldn't do it back then. First of all, you'd be tarred and feathered. My grandmother told me. This is how she explained the difference between men and women. She said, a man could get naked and walk down the street. And when he got to the corner, he would still be a man. Okay, that's much cool, right. She said, but a woman can pull off her dress, and when she get to a corner, she's a whore, a prostitute, and a slut. Which means, she was telling me, men could do whatever they want to do And that's it. When I heard the stories about how the white men used to just literally walk in the house, open your refrigerator, take out a beer, sit down, drink it. And if you said anything to him, you could be arrested. Yeah, the homeowner could be arrested. Because it was his freedom to just walk in your house. So then, my grandmother, my aunt told a story about the man coming in, and my aunt Minnie and our Aunt Anime begging him to leave before their mother got there. Please, sir, don't be there. When she came in, of course, there was a shotgun by the door for just that occasion. Yeah, for just that occasion, y'all. A shotgun. So, then, well, they tell a story about how the man came back, or just white men in general. And white men go up and say, oh, I'm thirsty. Oh, black people live here. Let me go ahead and get something to drink. He wouldn't be trespassing, nothing like that. So then they got the lock put on. Tuck in your elbow, squeeze your gut. 5, up and down, not up nor down though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going for good luck. I'm trying to do it with some kind of control. Okay. Squeeze your gut. Tuck your elbow in. Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going for good luck. Yes. Thanks for coming on the wall. We have gulp and chat afterwards. And I'll finish that idea. If I don't forget it. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend, subscribe. Please go to iMusic, iTunes, Spotify, all those places. And support. I'm walking, trying to save my feet and toes. It ain't going to do nothing but help you walk and exercise more so you can do the same thing I'm doing. Trying to save my feet and toes. Let's do our water time, y'all. Whew. Yeah. I know I learned that you take care of a man. My grandmother never said anything about him taking care of us. I heard about that about white people on TV. But I didn't see it because the women I was around, if they weren't sick, they were working. So it was when I remember looking at like Leave It to Beaver and different things like that they stay home. And I'm always amazed on the podcast when they always come out and say, well, they said she'll stay home and raise the kids and he'll work. Never had that discussion. Never had that discussion. It must be an awesome discussion. But I wouldn't know how to do it. My grandmother didn't work. She was a seamstress. She made dresses. She was a baker. She baked things. She, in the summer, sold chili beers, which is ice, like Italian ices. In the wintertime, she sold candy apples. And then she was a seamstress. But by the time I got to her, she was well in her 60s. Thirsty morning, y'all. So, I didn't know about staying home doing nothing. I always tried to do a little side gig. Even when I was out of work, and like I said, in the summertime, and I took the kids off the bar place and stuff like that, the mothers and stuff, sandwich, car fare, it was great. I mean, because that's all I needed. I didn't have any money, you know. And they, of course, it's a village, so they took care of me. They appreciated me doing the summer thing with the kids, teaching their kids how to swim, taking them to parks, different things like that. Pools, beaches, free things. We just have to do transportation, make sandwiches, and we was there. But other than that, the minute I found another babysitter, I was back to work. Because the reason why I had to stop working was because I ran into babysitting problems. No, I never told the job I had babysitting problems. I just told them I would not be coming back. Because I never want to blame me working not on my daughter. No. It was the scheduling of the caretakers for her. That was the problem. Never her. I love her. So that's when I was home. And now, now, me and my baby be in Uber. Yeah. Yeah, she'd be in the front baby seat facing the back, as they said, for security, but we'd be Ubering. We'd stop and have lunch. When it was downtown, she'd be sleeping in the back seat of the car. And when it was time for us to go, we'd be Ubering. We'd be Uber eating, lifting, personal prime delivery people. And I would have my child right next to me. Well, I'm getting off track to talk about men. I don't know about them. I know that all the cults are ran by them. And in all the cults, women are whores, and people from African, brown, tan skins are horrible, evil sinners. And that's in all the Western religions. That much I know. Nature doesn't say that. Just like nature said, my father made me and I have his DNA and blood. Cults said, because they wasn't married, I didn't have his DNA and blood. He made me, but I didn't have his DNA and blood. So I couldn't go, his name couldn't go on my birth certificate. The first time I saw my father's name next to my name, he was dead. And it was an insurance thing. And as surprised as I should be about those few thousand from the insurance, I was more excited because that's the first time in my life. Oh, I don't want to start crying. These cults are horrible. These cults are horrible. First time in my life that I saw my name and my father's name on documentation. Because the cult said he wasn't married. I don't have his DNA. And that's the ignorancy. And that's why I don't understand all this wonderful marvelousness and how the Pulitzer Prizers, Spillers, and all these scholars and shit. Bullshit. I call bullshit on all of it. Biggest liars on the planet. On this penal colony. But the men rule everything. So when I was thinking about getting my first car, what I feared the most was the time I would have to take my car to a mechanic. It is known that mechanics only do mano a mano, man to man. If you're a woman and you walk in a mechanic shop, you are going to get scammed from start. But that's just the way it's set up. You don't have a man with you. You don't have a man with you when you go into that mechanic station. So that gives him the right there to scam you. He's not gonna fix nothing. He ain't gonna do it. I want to have a business where I could just take men. I would just take a lot of men on the street corner, excuse me, clean them up, and you call into me and you say, Vicki, I have to take my car in. And I say, I got a man here. Come pick him up and then go to the mechanic. Or they say, Vicki, I need to, my car needs to go to mechanic. I'll say, drop your car off here and one of my men will take your car to the mechanic. And that's the only way cars will get fixed for women. Isn't that a wonderful business idea? I would just pick them up, clean them up. You just come in. $30 a hit. Okay? They'll drop it off and pick it up. So he can make $60. Minus my cut. But he can make $60 on a drop-off pickup, and we can do that all day long. And as long as they see the mechanic, if he sees that man, don't gotta be her man, if he sees that man with her, he will fix the car properly, because in his mind, he's thinking that the man will know whether he's breaking the car or not. But when he sees a woman, he knows he can go ahead and break anything. Because she doesn't know. I long for the day that there's a car that has this little chip that when the car goes bad, the lady can take out the chip, go and put it in her computer, and it'll say, this is the problem. Then when we take the car in, we'll know we are being scammed by men, and always have. But also, I like my business too. Taking your car in to be repaired, give Vicki a call. She got a man. Okay, I gotta work on that a little bit more. He'll drop it off for you and pick it up. No trouble, no muss. Your car will be repaired because the mechanic will think that that's the man's car, or his wife's car, or his girlfriend's car, or anything. What you have to do the thing. That's what I'm trying to take care of. If it's a woman, she'd say, "Oh, that's my girlfriend," which means he's saying, "I'll be checking behind you." $30 drop off, $30 pickup. Rent a man to take your car for repairs. And the repairs will be done right. I do it. I got my car out there now. They done fleeced me for close to $5,000, and the car still can't pass nothing to get me back on the road. So, if it was a company like the one I'm thinking, I would call them up and say, please, just, I'll pay the $30. Let them come pick up the car and drop it off to the mechanic. And I bet you that light that nobody could get off, because every time we went, it was me, my daughter. If I had a rent-a-man, and even if I dropped the car off with the rent-a-man, they would put that light out. And if the rent-a-man dropped off the car and said, man, I know y'all can get that light off, the light would be off in the car. But they say it's me, and they just kept on. $5,000. Finally, I had to stop and say, I told my daughter, I said, they just ain't going to get the light off for us because we women. And that's when I came up with the idea. I want to rent a man. Take my car in basically for car repair. Or maybe if you have a plumber or somebody coming to the house, you call Vicki's rent-a-man. He'll come and sit on the couch. And then he'll ask a man a few questions. What you do in that sink? You put in that sink. And the sink will be fixed. Where if it's a woman, there's a good chance sink ain't gonna be fixed right. See, that's what I know about men. I know that they can be fun and funny, as long as they're somebody else's. Um, I know they can be good fathers as long as the mothers are good to them. If the mother takes care of them, they'll take care of the kids. See, the mother gets all wrapped up. Oh, the kids are here. I have to take care of the kids. No. You got to put more effort into the man to like really caring for him, picking up after him, the whole 9 things, make sure that everything, in order for him to relate to the kids. If you focus more on the kids than him, I'm a true crimer. You could wind up floating in water somewhere. So I want to get that out to y'all. Oh, before we go. Also, I know that you don't argue with men in cars because there's a good chance they'll reach out and punch you. So you don't do that. I know that much. You don't argue with men. They don't have that. They don't have that argue thing. They fight. So you think you arguing and you just gearing him up to fight. So don't argue with him. Yeah, all the way your ass to that car. Yep. You right. I'm wrong. I did it. It's my fault. It's over. As you pack them bags. You just the best thing that happened to you. As you pack up that car. I love you. You know I'll stay with you forever, never. Until you get your ass behind that seat in that car and take off. And don't you ever look back. That much I know about men. Yep. I also know that men say they women squander money. That women do not know how to count. Right. Men, that's what when I was young, I was told. Men do math. Women are bad at math. This is what I was taught. I didn't teach that to my daughter. My daughter, corporal punishment was a times table. She's a math whiz. We ain't do that. But they didn't do that with us because men know more about math and stuff like that. You know. So I know that's... Because see, this is... If I'm taught that, this is what they're taught too. They make better judgment, though they don't know how to be in the toilet and they still put skid marks in their drawers. But they make better decision and judgment than women do. Yep. I remember learning that. Yep. Do I believe it? No. If I had a ship, who would be a captain? A woman. I'm just telling you. They're stronger than we are. That's why you never fight. I listen to true crime. And when I hear, these women fight women, I'm like, what? I already told my daughter. Okay, there's the ones that say, they can tell he was laying down when she so-and-so. That's how I tell my daughter to go. First I tell her to get out. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Yes. You are Superman. You are great. You are best. You're the best thing. As you packing up your shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come on, kids. Come on, get run to the car. Oh yes, honey, honey. Yeah, you know you're great. You're wonderful. I would never leave you. Get your ass in that car. Don't look back. That's my preference. But the other way, you don't fight with a man. He is stronger than you. Standing up. And that's what I told my daughter. No, you don't fight with him. That's what I know about men. Let's see. I want to say the more that you allow them to dominate you, they will dominate you to death. That much I know about them. They're not just gonna like hit you and then like stop hitting you. They're gonna twist your arm. They're gonna break the arm. They're gonna break the leg. They're gonna kick the leg. You see, so I know one thing. They, in far as violence against a partner, they progress. So you either have to be like I was taught down south. You have to be. Oh no, honey, it's not you, it's me. Oh no, honey, no, you're fine, it's me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's all right, honey. I know, and just sexually satisfied. And he's a man. If he does a few cross rights or cross lefts. He's a man. That's what it is. So that's what I was talking about, man. I was taught always be encouraging. No, that wasn't in the cult. That was when I came to New York as a young adult with other women. Always be encouraging. Oh, baby, you're the best, you're the greatest. And you say, oh, he's the best. Oh, he's the greatest. Oh, he's the most. So he always has to be all those things, because if he's not, if he's not, you could be cheating with someone else. You see what I'm saying? You could be sleeping around on him. Just so many other things. So you constantly, have to feed that. Oh, you're just crazy. Oh, you're the best at the office. No one understands you. You see, and that's what I was taught about, man. Now I did read several times men from Mars and women from Venus. White folk shit. That's what I can do. Privilege. That's the mind of the privilege. To survive. Oh yeah, before we go. Oh my goodness. I know one thing. You cannot tell a man you're going to leave him. That is like his mother saying, you do everything for him. You cook, you clean, you wash his clothes, you make sure his bill, you make work, you make him good, everything for him. When you say you are going to leave him, he instantly falls apart and he'll unlife you. He only do listen, if he's one of, at that moment, Colt, y'all married for life. So if he unlife you, it don't matter. You're still married. He'll just wait till he's unlifed in order to see you. But other than that, everything is cool. If you're the other things, you do 8 years, you come out and you get remarried. Don't tell me to leave. Yep, let them come in and find the house empty. Find your clothes going, you and the kids going, or find the house full and y'all ain't never coming back. However way you want to do that. But do not tell him He does not have to sign divorce papers. Because you never know where he is. Or you serve the divorce papers to where he ain't. Boop. And then he missed the court date. Boop. Then he's divorced. Work smart, ladies. Do not tell him you're divorcing him, leaving him, anything like that. At that time, you're not talking to a man. You're talking to a 6, 7, or 8-year-old boy. And all he hears is that the woman that cooks, cleans, and takes care of him is leaving. And he can't handle that. So that's one thing I want to go on record saying. Stop saying you're leaving. Ladies, just be gone. And be real gone. Let the police know. Let the police know. Contact some domestic violence somebody and say, listen, call back into my town and city and let them know me and the kids are fine. But we ain't in that state no more because that nigga ain't gonna kill me. See, so that's what I know about men. We almost done, y'all. Stop fighting with these fools. Oh, excuse me, these men. Yes! Thanks for on the walk. Thanks for the gulping chat. I sure do appreciate y'all company and your motivation vibes to me. Like, comment, share. Tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. And I'll see y'all on Monday. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend.